Hey, what's going on? This is Sports Truth. I'm your favorite host in the entire world, Jordan Harris. So, Miami fans, we got a couple things to talk about. And actually, both things that we're going to talk about have to do with comments that Josh Pate made about the Hurricanes. Um, so, he's on CBS Sports. He's one of the lead personalities for that channel. Actually, I'm a pretty big fan of Josh Pate. I watch him, I wouldn't say every day, but I watch him a lot of times, especially YouTube clips and whatnot. But I do respect his opinion. He seems really educated, and he also has a pretty cool story where he was unemployed and evicted just a couple years ago, and now he's doing really well in the sports analyst world, doing really well. So I want to talk about a couple of comments that he made about the Hurricanes on two different occasions over the last couple of, I guess, the last few days actually, not a couple of weeks, but the last few days. So the first thing, he had he was doing like a countdown, I guess you would call it. And he was talking about four sleeping giants in college football. So he was saying like there's four teams that's out there who, if their fan base gets awakened by having a successful season, he was like, look out because these teams might be pretty overwhelming. And he named four different teams. So one of them was Tennessee. One of the teams was Virginia, I think it was, yeah, Virginia Tech. And then the other team that he mentioned was Nebraska. The fourth team was the Miami Hurricanes. So he had quite a bit to say about the Hurricanes. I want to read the quote that he has on here. Let's start now. So, quote, it says, mentioning Miami, please, yeah. Miami belongs here. Yeah, I'd love to see Miami as one of the prime players in college football again. Their last national title was in 2001, but old friends from 1983 to 2003, 14 of those 21 seasons, Miami won double-digit games, and they have only won one double-digit season since 2004. Did the structure of the sport change? Not necessarily. It's just Miami being Miami's own way. And if Miami gets out of its own way, Miami can do special things again. I don't think it helps they tore down the Orange Bowl either. Miami home games, you'll have to provide the folks a winner. But if you do provide them a winner, they will show up, but unlike some other places with blind loyalty, they're showing up if you're anything less than a winner. The number one ingredient in this sport is to win. The number one ingredient in this sport to win at the highest level has always been and will always be talent. So I think he spoke nothing but truth here, to be honest with you. So he says Miami belongs in the conversation as being a sleeping giant. As you all know, we've been, I wouldn't say down in the dumps, but we've been begging for a successful season over the last few years. And the fan base, unlike other fan bases that are down right now, like the fan base for the Hurricanes has been just bubbling at the top, waiting to explode. I don't really see that from Virginia Tech. I don't hear anything about Virginia Tech fans ever. I don't hear anything about Nebraska fans ever. But I'm always seeing Hurricanes fans in chats all over the place. I'm always seeing videos of Hurricanes, and it's not just because I'm a Hurricanes fan looking for it. I just see it all the time. Miami Hurricanes. When's the last time you heard about the Nebraska Cornhuskers being talked about on national television? But I do see the Hurricanes creeping in there every now and again. So, for whatever reason, the Hurricanes, I do think that it's a sleeping giant. I agree with him 100%. We've only had one 10-win season over the last too many years, which is unbelievable. Um, I think the part where he talked about the home games, that one is, I think that one is dead on though. He spoke about how Miami is not one of those programs where you're going to see the stands full every game, no matter what. I think if Ohio State has a down year, their stadium is probably still going to be packed. As many people as they can put in that huge stadium, it's probably still going to be packed. But when you see the Hurricanes, if they are not winning, that stadium is not going to be packed. If you watch a Miami Heat game on TV, even the playoff games, when you see like the first 6 or 7 minutes of the game, the stands are like almost, I wouldn't say empty, but it's like half and half. And then once you get, towards the end of the first quarter, it's full. So apparently that's just how Miami gets down. I don't know. I don't live there, so I couldn't tell you. But apparently that's how Miami gets down, not just in college football, but also professional sports basketball. So what he's saying makes sense. I can't really argue with that. I think Josh Pate is right on the money with that one. The other topic that he talked about was about Miami being, well, he mentioned some of the most hated fan bases in college football, just over the history of just over the history of college football. Like, who are the most hated programs? And he had quite a few that he listed off, but of course, Miami Hurricanes was in that too. So I'm gonna read a quick little quote that he has in there. He said, "Seeing a whole new generation of people from Virginia to Nevada and everywhere in between." He said, "Those people discover," talking about the young folks, right? So he's saying those young folks discover, wow, I, just like my forefathers, also have hatred for Miami that I never knew existed. I thought that was pretty funny. So I think he's dead on there too. Like, Hurricanes fans can be obnoxious, and I'm gonna start with myself. Um, and he was saying like, he was asking, will the Hurricanes be as hated as they once were if they finally do reach prominence once again? And I'll tell you, speaking for myself, and I've spoken on this channel before, when it was Ja'Cory, so Ja'Cory Harris, when his class came out, some groups had him ranked number one overall. Some groups had the Hurricanes recruiting class number one overall that year. Some had him ranked as low as number three, but they were a top three consensus group. And when I tell y'all I was obnoxious, like, it was ridiculous. It taught me a life lesson. That's how obnoxious I was. I was at my school screaming, Hurricanes are back, Hurricanes are back, doing all kinds of talking. And the fact that that recruiting class didn't do anything over those 4 years, it made me look crazy. So, life lesson was like, okay, Jordan, maybe you should relax on that. So that's why you're not going to hear me screaming, the Canes are back. You're not going to hear me screaming that again until we're in the playoffs and maybe after we win a playoff game. And it most likely would have to be once we do it 2 years in a row. Then maybe I'll start saying the Canes are back. But that taught me a life lesson. Either way, once the Hurricanes do finally get back, I'm going to go right back to the obnoxious Miami Hurricanes Jordan Harris fan. I'm going to have to. It's in my blood. It is what it is. I'm going to be acting a fool online once we beat the Florida State Seminoles this year. It is what it is, man. I can't help it. I'm going to be tame. I'm going to be cool. But once we finally get back to prominence, like he was asking, are we going to be hated? Yeah, we are, because we going to act a fool. And I know it's not just me. I'm sure a whole lot of y'all watching this video, y'all going to act a fool right with me. It is what it is. And don't let us win a national championship. Oh, my goodness. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. When we win a national championship in the next few years, y'all going to see me act a fool. I'm telling you. I'm just putting that out there. I'm going to act a fool. I might even paint my house green and orange. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something nuts. Just letting you know that. All right. So those are my thoughts on a couple of the things that Josh Pate talked about. The first thing was he wanted to know, excuse me while my computer is loading here, but he wanted to know, like, is Miami Hurricanes, is that a sleeping giant program? Is that a program that's quiet right now, but it's just been bubbling under the surface, and once we do get some success, the Hurricanes fans will go nuts? And then he also is asking if the Hurricanes will become one of the most hated programs again once we do reach once we do have some good seasons. And he said, yes, I agree, 100%. I think we're going to be hated just like we were back in the day. So let me know what your thoughts are on those comments. I think he was dead on. I'm a big fan of Josh Pate. I think most of the time he is dead on. He covers the Hurricanes quite a bit. He's a big SEC fan, so he covers a lot of that. But for whatever reason, he covers the Hurricanes quite a bit. So if you want to have somebody else to listen to on a daily basis, I say check him out. I think he's pretty dope. All right, so please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I truly appreciate that. Take care. God bless. Peace.